Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Breakdowns of Brews. Today we're going to be covering Fallout 4. We'll be playing on the Xbox as usual. With me is Player 2 Reviews partner Lee, at Lee Makes BP on Twitter. And we have a good buddy Hugo with us as well, at Hugo's Tweet. Very avid fan of Fallout. He spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on on goods for the game.
Worth every penny.
But they're going to be giving us a lot of feedback on the game today because they're huge fans, and I'll be doing the playing. So far, let's start with Julie. What do you think of Fallout 4 so far with your time in it?
Fallout 4 to me is a really great, complete game. What is? Oh boy! Wow! Fuck! You better just run away, dude.
Better save.
Save right now. Save.
Psych.
Start save.
Anyways,
just overall, the game's really well connected. Just simple little aspects of it, that the add-ons that greatly impact the game, such as Edwin's got it up right now. The quick selection of weapons. That to me is great to switch between. I don't know if he's gonna do it now, but if he throws a grenade, just the quick grenade feature versus having to go back and forth, having to do that. Those to me just make combat a lot more accessible, a lot more easier to fight versus constantly going to your Pip-Boy. I'm actually rocking the Pip-Boy right now. This is Edwin's Pip-Boy edition, but I have to wear it every time I come over here.
I found out in Fallout 3 there wasn't enough hotkeys. This new feature, just better all around for switching between weapons.
Now for me, I like using Codsworth the best out of all companions. I mean, I've got all of them. I've got Piper, Super Mutant, Minuteman guy, and the Brotherhood of Steel guy. But Codsworth to me is the best because you don't have to use Stimpaks on it. You just use it for yourself, and Codsworth actually regenerates his own health. When he gets hurt, he kind of just sits down and gets back up after a while. I think he can carry the most, but I haven't really compared the weights. They might be able to carry all the same, but he can carry a hell of a lot of power armor.
I'm using Curie, the French Codsworth.
oh really?
I didn't know that.
She's all into science, so
What do you guys think about the new perk chart?
I'm gonna bring it up really quick. I think it really well lays out everything. The last Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 3, they were all kind of just bars on the Pip-Boy screen. Gave you a brief description. This one, it gives you a little animation, and it gives you a chart that actually goes up and down, so you can see everything. I really like it. What do you think, Hugo?
yeah, I think it's a good way of streamlining the old way, which was a point system for every skill, and now they have skills and perks. I think that's just a good way of combining them without having Fallout.
Now, with 60 plus hours in the game, what do you think as far as depth goes? I mean, I get overwhelmed all the time playing this. Like, it's not a game I can play for an hour because I'll feel completely unaccomplished, like, without a doubt. But I have to play like 4 hours at a time to feel like I got something done. As far as depth goes and immersiveness, and again, you start in the second file, right?
Yeah, and I just keep getting lost in it. So much to do. Every little nook and cranny just has a little story behind it, which I just love seeing. Skeletons, the way they died, they were doing bombs drop. Also all the lore, why I love Fallout, all the lore in it.
It's one of the best settings ever. And I heard there's there's a crazy cat lady cabin, and I want to check out. There's supposed to be cats there as well as cat pictures all over the walls. As far as playthrough styles, have you guys been good, bad?
For the most part, I've been pretty good, and I actually got the achievement on Xbox One for having your companion up to 100%. Codsworth really likes you to do the right thing, good things, so it was pretty easy to get to a higher relationship, companion level with each other. But the old lady, part of the Minutemen, who lives in Sanctuary Hills, she asked if she could get some jet, and I gave her some jet because I thought it was a nice thing to get little grandma some drugs. But Codsworth thought that was really, really bad, didn't like that a lot.
You are the Walgreens of the wasteland.
So I literally gave her drugs, thought it was a good idea. Maybe some neighbors.
Big John's.
Oh wow, that place.
See,
place you want to be at.
Super
sure
Meat,
about that?
for me, Super Meat is, well, the Brotherhood of Steel is actually fighting down there. Lasers, I think that's them.
Why can't I craft right now?
That's good though.
But to me, I think the Super Mutants are a lot easier to kill than three at least.
I'm playing on hard. It's still a bit of a challenge.
Okay.
Just the gunplay is so much faster now.
Now, like Oblivion 4 and Skyrim actually, there are all kinds of observation to be doing as far as building new things, creating new things. What do you guys think about the crafting system? You guys want to like before that crafting system?
I personally love it. I just today I added a mod that like crafting. Just creating your own settlement. Just really personalizing the character. It's a great feature.
What the fuck is that?
Entirely optional. Just gives you more to do in this elite.
Now, was the execute critical part of the last one too? Okay, I thought that was new as well.
For me, the way I look at it when I'm breaking down the amount of time I played is there's like an hour of doing missions, an hour of exploring, an hour of crafting, upgrading the weapons, putting sights on them, upgrading the power armor, upgrading the personal waters, making chemicals, making grenades. There's so much to do. Almost not enough time in real life. I wish I had more time to play Fallout, didn't have responsibilities.
Thankfully, it's not a necessity. Like, you don't have to do the crafting.
Oh yeah,
you don't have to do
and that's what I love about the game. There are some missions, I know for the Minutemen, where you gotta build a tower, but that's enough shit.
It's more like a tutorial just to get you.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, let's show them. Let me make sure this area is all cleared up, and we'll show them. If anybody out there has played the Fallout Shelter game, hugely popular on both iOS and Android. Great fun game, but they basically extended that kind of into this, where you could build settlements and not control, but kind of watch over a group of settlers and make sure their happiness and resources are up to an acceptable level, which has not been in any of the previous games, correct? Okay. See if these guys are good. Got some more radio signals.
Where are you at right now?
I have no idea.
Put in your map, I just want to see what quadrant you're.
Let me see if these add any missions real quick, and then I'll forward it. I don't hear anything. Far away.
Let me dial my bit boy.
Well, now who's this? You here to trade, boy?
It's weird. The gunners, I always fight the gunners.
Who are you?
But there's like gunner.
What are you
traders.
doing out here?
Name's Dreth. That's all you need to know. Now, you're here for business? I ain't got all night.
You a trader? Sure.
I
Let me see
really
what you
like
got.
the dialogue.
All right, let 'em through.
Now, where you can, where it's all button selection versus like having to scroll through the actual decisions. I really do like that. I like the
I guess she's just gonna go to bed and not trade with me.
I like the when it tells you like, with the red, yellow, orange, like difficulty of persuasion on there.
Now, I'm thankful for the hella saves it does automatically, because I quit playing Fallout 3 after 44 hours because of the Mothership Zeta DLC. Got stuck, and prior to that, I had a save at 20 hours, so I was not redoing that. I am not one like you go to restart a game out of boredom. I like completing one main story that I've worked 44 hours on. But yeah, there's a lot more save options too. I got a map, here's one.
Oh, okay.
Well, slightly south of Diamond City, but let's head over to my Sanctuary Hills real quick, where I'm at 78% happiness, only 10 settlers, but the building is really fun, and unfortunately I find myself wasting way too much time just building. I think I'm working on a game room, I got my bobbleheads in there.
Yeah.
Now, I hope down the line, after they've added mods and things like that for consoles, that they update like an editing tool. Like, I'd like maybe a sky view or more of a forge type where you can move up and down.
Yeah.
Because I find myself trying to build fences or structures, and I only get so much of a view, especially if I'm inside of a structure, where I feel like I can't really move around as much as I'd like to.
One thing I do is I'll set a fence down because you can grab it at different points.
Yeah,
to give you a
but it
better-
doesn't always snap where I want it.
Yeah, I know it's kind of.
Have them where they'll snap wherever you want it to.
Get
Does
it,
it
man.
go-
PC gamer, whatever.
Does it go into red?
So yeah, there's rusted out houses here, and now you can build onto the plots of land where they were before. It'll open up, just relax. We're gonna set up a fort right here.
Do you have a house started?
Like for me?
Like a building?
No, I was gonna clean up the original house, like his house from before. While I work on this and we let everybody watch, you want to kind of explain the beginning of the story and what War Traveler's kind of justification and how he got to where he's at is. What he would like to take on that responsibility.
Well, without spoiling too much, main character is either a veteran or a lawyer.
Yeah,
Is that if you're the wife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The wife. Back in the day. And it starts off when essentially the post-apocalyptic timeline of Fallout started. Bomb drop. Characters in the middle of it. Your wife or husband. Son Sean. What happens is a bunch of the close Fallout shelter nearby. Something happened out there, and you wake up 200 years later. You're essentially just looking for your family.
Very good spoiler free.
I kind of want to spoil it, but I got. Yeah, Hugo hit it pretty good with that. That's pretty much the gist of it, and going a little more detail as you get out, you kind of confused on what's going on, and a lot of the different groups in the wasteland ask you about being in because they figured out that you were a vault dweller, and they're always constantly saying like you were frozen or you were like alive like how many years ago, and it's been 200 years since you got out from the vault. Is the time that Fallout 4 takes place. So essentially, your guy's, let's say, 35 when the bomb drops, so he's 235 right now in the game. And that's your actual house.
This is the game room I told you about. So I'm still working on it, but like you can scrap everything, which is awesome. Like scrap whatever you want, move whatever you want, like salvageable furniture, keep it, do what you want with it. You manage electricity, water, all kinds of things. As far as the timeline goes, Hugo, I was curious because I wasn't familiar with what time Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 take place. Like, is it similar to this, or is this slightly past that?
About 10 years after the events of Fallout 3.
Okay, so it's pretty close. Okay, that's good to know, because I was not sure, and I did want to know.
Surprisingly close, because the other Fallout games are farther in distance time-wise.
Okay. Any other new features you guys think we should show off?
Do you have any, yeah, I guess we're crafting your weapon crafting.
I'm busy.
I actually got, my game, I've got a bunch of different versions of the power armor. So I have like 10
Need
different
something?
power armor stands, and I have them all hanging up. It's kind of like my car garage, so to speak, with things like that. But one of the coolest things I think is the ability to wear power armor.
That's some good work there.
Because in the past, at least Fallout 3 on New Vegas, I think there was a little. Or if you join the Brotherhood, you could get power armor, I believe.
Need
But
something?
Before, power armor was just kind of like clothing you wear. It didn't really do anything. It did give you a little increase in carrying capacity and things. But with this one, it goes in a lot more in depth, not only with the crafting system, but also how they're powered. They're powered basically by fusion cores, which I think is like, what would you say? Either just like a nuclear atom or something inside?
It's like I can finally think straight.
And you have to be kind of conscious of that because they're kind of hard to find and they're really expensive to buy the game. So I always wear it when I'm going out when I know there's going to be hostile or you're going to run into a deathclaw or something. But I usually tend to take it off while I'm searching so I'm not burning that battery. Then with the crafting, you can upgrade it to different types, and it gives you better power, better defense, better carrying capacity. And there's also different add-ons you can do. There's like a one for adding where it'll instantly give you stim pack health, or there's one that's even a jetpack. What cool features do you think the power armor system has? You guys?
I actually haven't unlocked any yet since I started my game, but I love the feel of being in power armor. It actually feels like a suit
Instead of just a layover.
Yeah. I wish more games would kind of take that to be. A game like Halo, it doesn't really feel like you're wearing armor as opposed to this.
Now, you're on PC now, so you haven't played Halo 5, but in Halo 5, during the campaign at least, your visor, you have a more distinctive visor when you're a Master Chief or when you're Spartan Lock. Like, the screen changes. I know it doesn't feel like you're in armor, but just to touch on that.
I believe Halo's always had that visor. It's not as apparent, but it's always been there.
Yeah.
But even like right now, like just the overall layout on
The HUD
on your HUD changes from being outside to inside with the power armor on. Well, I think that's really cool.
Now, as far as the junk goes, before it was something I would just pick up and sell all the time, but now junk matters. What do you want to touch base on that?
That just makes it worse for my OCD. I just have to collect everything now. Before I would just collect teddy bears and pencils, but now I have to collect everything.
Basically, the junk goes into the crafting system. Every junk can be broken down into a realistic aspect of being a craft. You pick up a mug, you get ceramic from that. You pick up a radio, you get wires and other parts that you need to craft particular items. Even the HUD for this, your menu changes too. You don't have to pull out your Pip-Boy because obviously you're in the suit, no longer quite a necessity. It kind of just pops up on screen. But
Power armor also does great over time. Big damage. You also have to keep it repaired.
what's the battery before there?
Yes.
I have not spent much time on Power Armor just because it isn't as easy to access as prior games where it was just clothes. But it definitely is awesome. Obviously, I didn't see any chance against those death claws earlier.
Leave it anywhere and then stay there. Come back and pick it up.
I read that you do want to remove the power cord.
Yes, because NPC will get inside it. They're hostile.
Wow, I did not know that one. That's actually new to me. Luckily that it hasn't happened yet. I usually leave it in a place that no
Leave
safe.
your keys in the car.
That's true indeed. One thing, the other I think is cool is before there was just power armor in the other games. This one, there's different rankings of power armor, different versions throughout the years. A little bit of lore behind it I know is there's actually a place in the Boston Commonwealth where there's a fort that did experimental testing on these different power armors, and not to go into too much detail, but there's a terminal in there that explains some of the processes they got for the different versions. And it mentions past DLC from Fallout 3 on the upgrades of power armor. But what Hugo was mentioning about keeping your power arm up repaired with the higher one, the T60 that I have in my character, it needs like aluminum and circuitry and all these different parts just to repair it. And those I tend to find are very hard to find especially when you're looking for them. You get them in aluminum cans. You need that aluminum, but you need a ton of aluminum to repair your whole suit. So lately I've been using Poo-Poo T45, what Edwin's using right now, because you only need steel, and you can get steel pretty much anywhere.
But now, if you go Market District and fast one on that Infinite Money mod, you can buy yourself some shipments of supplies.
That's true, yeah, but
I like that you can tag parts you want.
Yeah, which is awesome and definitely helpful. But let's see if we can display some of this power. Oh, why is he an enemy? Why is he automatically an enemy?
Someone there!
Well, I'm not actually part of this.
What? Who's there?
Oh, another thing too, which I may or may not get to show off, is that the melee with whatever weapons you can, and a lot of times it's more dynamic. It's not just them hitting. You could grab them by the leg, trip them, and shoot them while they're on the floor. You can do special knockouts, like different things like that, where it's actually it feels a lot more cinematic.
Yeah, there's a good just to get some distance from the enemies. Those staggers up.
That means on our side. But I mean, we should be able to wrap this show up. I think we covered a lot of the new things. I mean, overall, interactivity in third person is a lot more dynamic too. You see a lot more motions. Enemies, when they're dead, when they fall down, they don't just plop over in a lot of cases. There is a lot more fluid motion. It's still Fallout, so there is, some ragdollness to it, but a lot of the cases there,
It's a nice benefit.
yeah.
Real time.
Also, when the game dropped, I streamed it for. I installed about 12:30 that night when it came out and played till about 10:30 the next day. So I got a solid 10 hours. Probably got bed sores on my butt. But if you go on our Twitch page, there is about an hour-long stream of me playing, just kind of doing just odds and end missions. If you guys want to see a more in-depth look, there's that. Right now, Fallout 4 is really the only game I've been playing. So be sure to just tweet at us or mention us and say you want to see some Fallout gameplay. Like, I'll gladly hook up the stream and stream it. I'm streaming all the time. Oh boy, yeah, dude, play this.
Essentially, this is just kind of an ode to Pitfall, and instead it's obviously
Another
cleverly
completely option.
Pitfall. Yeah, and
You could spend so much time on this too.
if you download the Pip-Boy app on your smartphone, any of these that you find in the game, you could play on your phone, which is pretty awesome. It saves your high scores, everything like that. But I haven't found the Grognak. I have not found that game yet, but from what I read, it's a full-fledged old-school RPG. With like a ranking system and everything. Sounds crazy awesome, but obviously doesn't not have any shortcomings.
I actually found that character's axe comic book store in the game, and it's actually really nice.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm dead.
Yeah, I got that too, yeah.
Alright, everybody. That's going to do it for this episode of Breakdowns and Brews. I'm Edwin at Mr. Villesbian.
I'm at Lee Makes Me Pee.
Hugo at Hugo.
Thank you guys for joining us again. Comment, let us know if you liked it. Future breakdowns and brews you'd like to see. We're working on more content to round up the year. Thanks so much for the support so far, and have a good week.